what does alchemy polymers do? And I said, we kick water's ass, sir. And he was like, shook my hands. He's like, keep up the good work, and walked off. And I was like,
awesome.
that's the 4-star general. That's so cool.
What kind of problems can we solve with geotechnical polymers, leak seal? Like, let's just run through them.
We call these materials in chemical grout. Right. So it's a chemical and it's a grout. Well, what does a grout mean? A grout is simply something that fills a space. So it's a very generic definition, but when you think about that, what causes problems? Erosion, settlement due to trash pits or biological decay, things like that. So you're creating voids, and the chemical grout, the products that we manufacture, they're designed to go in, seek out those areas. They always follow the path of least resistance.
Yep.
They're going to go along in those gaps and fill them up and give you enough strength for whatever structure's sitting on top of it. So that's kind of the broad overview. Andy, you want to talk about some of the specific applications?
Agricultural stuff. So we've lifted slabs in agricultural facilities where they've had settlement. A lot of, big agriculture. I mean, huge tanks, silo slabs that need to be re-leveled because they're on load cells. And then you get into the ADA compliance. There's all your slab lifting, or maybe it's doing soil stabilization for putting an elevator pit. And you can just go down through the alphabet. I mean, Army Corps projects, water control structures, filling voids, stopping water from getting through the soil around water control structures. And just commercial buildings. I mean, parking garages have leaks. Yeah, I have a whole section on dams, injecting a big arch dam with leaks, or a soil dam. Just go down through the alphabet, the education,
power plants, box culverts,
solar fields,
any kind of drainage on a roadway, right?
Yeah.
Everything that's transporting water like that is.
Yeah. Maybe you could say, like, where water finds a way, we find a way to stop it.
Yeah. That's right. We used to have some advertising we did, and we said, water is relentless. And we had a big picture of a giant mako shark on our booth. That was really cool.
Imagine a 10 by 10 booth with a giant backdrop of a huge mako shark, and that's
just swimming through the water.
And it just says water is relentless. Mm-hmm. I was at it was actually the same show. It's the Society of American Military Engineers. So we went to that show, and there was all kind of, people that want to do business with the government. Mm-hmm. And we had that big shark backdrop. And here comes the 4-star general for the Army Corps is marching up with his aides all carrying their briefcases and for him. And he stops and turns and looks at me and looks at our booth, and he walked over and he's like, what does alchemy polymers do? And I said, we kick water's ass, sir. And he was like, shook my hands. He's like, keep up the good work, and walked off. And I was like,
awesome.
That's the 4-star general. That's so cool.
But yeah, it's any below grade structure, utility vaults, parking garages. I mean, they're all going to have leaks. Water wants to get through, and we can do everything we can to try and stop it. But eventually, it's going to come through.
Yeah,
it's got nothing but time.
Absolutely.